been doing in your free time now that the season's over?
Honestly, right when I got back from kitchen, I just like started working out again and started training. It's a quick turnaround when it comes to the off season. So I want to get right back to work. I'm not much of a stay at home kind of guy and doing nothing.
I saw that you were a big workout guy. You started working out in seventh and eighth grade pretty seriously. What got you into that workout path?
It's kind of a funny story. Like honestly, I was always short, so I'm like, all right, I gotta compensate somehow. So I gotta start being the most jacked guy in the room or something because I'm always the shortest. So yeah, and I found out pretty quick that girls usually like taller guys. So yeah, I gotta make something happen here. I gotta compensate.
Did you get your heart broken or anything?
No, no, nothing like that. Just I have to give myself a little advantage here.
For sure. What type of music do you like listening to when you work out?
Oh, rock for sure. Big rock guy, even if it's like old rock. I like Linkin Park right now, Green Day, but like the old bands like Queen and all that stuff, they're pretty good too. The Rolling Stones are not bad either.
And do you have a favorite day in the gym? Leg day, chest, shoulders?
I gotta go with chest and shoulders. I get the pump going with the chest and shoulders. It feels unreal.
For sure.
Leg day is all right. You gotta do it, so I don't mind doing it. You feel good after, but I think the worst day is probably like the hill day. I just had that today. It was a little brutal. And that's just after coming off a couple of days getting after it. So definitely I have to rid the body of the toxins.
You kind of just mentioned it, but are you a big cardio guy?
Yeah, I do a lot of running and stuff and obviously yeah, the hill runs. But I think honestly, if you do a lot of cardio and you feel good on the ice, it's that much easier to do other things on the ice, like explore. So because you can always keep going.
First year with the Kitchener Rangers, I believe you were 16 years old when you went and played your first game with them. I can't imagine leaving home at such a young age. I think we were like sophomores in high school, and it's crazy to think about. So, what was that adjustment like leaving home and going to Kitchener?
Yeah, it was pretty tough actually. I mean, I was a fifth round pick, so obviously didn't really expect me to make the team in my first year. But I guess like the kids always put a huge emphasis on work ethic. So I work my bag off every day. So I guess they really couldn't cut me. And I also said like, all right, if I'm not playing this year, then I'm going to school. Like I was talking to UMass pretty seriously, and I was thinking about going there. So pretty much said like, yeah, if I don't play this year, I'm not coming. So I kind of didn't give much of an option. But yeah, like going in when I was 16, like it was pretty tough leaving home. Going to some like random family like I don't know nothing about. And then the fact that I was playing on like a super team that year, like I think we have like six guys who play in the NHL right now, or play in the NHL at least one game. And like, a couple other guys are in the Swedish Elite League, one guy's in the KHL. So that team was unreal. So I barely played. And that was obviously pretty tough for the confidence and mentally, and I had to stick through it. And like I've seen a lot of guys like just, crumble over the pressure and weren't able to make it out of that stage and never got their confidence back. But I was lucky enough to stick with it and keep going and become a good big player for the Rangers.
First game ever playing in the O? Do you have any memory of what you did before the game or after, or just mentally what was going through your head?
Honestly, I don't remember much of it. I remember that we were playing Flint, and I think I remember being like listening to the O Canada go on and like seeing like the 7,000 people in the stands, which is like crazy to think about when you're coming from playing in a minor hockey arena just last year. So I remember thinking like, oh, like this is it. This is the real deal. So, and now that it's over, like I like the real deal is in the NHL and like higher above like the OHL. It's great, but there's so much more to it, like the hockey than junior.
Were there any instances during that first year where you thought about like, I'm not good enough, like not necessarily like leave the team, but were there any like instances where you wanted to stop playing hockey?
I don't think so. I mean, what I was going through my head was pretty much, all right, next year's my year. I'm going to come back next year. I'm going to wait my turn. It's how it goes. Um, so I don't think I ever had the thought of quitting, but it was hard, and there was some days where it were tougher than others for sure. But then I would say my second year was a little bit tougher because in my first year I wasn't playing a lot. So when I did get out there, I wanted to make an impact. I can't just be going through the motions. I wanted to do something. I want to be like making an impact some way. So I would just go out there and start killing guys. Even though I'm 5'7", I would start hitting guys real hard. and the fans started loving it. The coaches loved it. Like the team loved it. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to keep doing this, keep riding this wave. And then in the Western Conference Finals, I blew out my shoulder because you probably imagine my 5'7" body can't sustain that kind of play. So I blew out my shoulder and I was out for 6 months in the off season. I really didn't do any training or on ice training and came back my second year. My second year, they kind of expect you to take the next step. It was a draft year, so I'm like, all right, here we go. But again, I missed 10 games of my second season and came back. I wasn't really playing well. I couldn't do much. I didn't have any training in the off season. So I think that year was a lot tougher, like realizing, oh, like I'm not gonna get drafted. This sucks. Like so that was a lot tougher. But I came back my third year next year and had a great year and built off that.
So before juniors, you were never that type of guy to throw up big hits. You were you like that like skill dangling players, sniping? Did you change up your playing style for juniors or your team?
Yeah, I think I played for the Mississauga Reps in minor hockey and we won like the OHL Cup and we're a pretty good team. I think we're a wagon. So I was like one of the top players on that team. So and getting points every game. So adjusting to being a role player in my first couple of years was definitely tough. But yeah, I had to change my game. So if I wanted to get playing time, so I just started hitting, and I think it kind of tailed off near the end of my career. The hitting, like I would still, if I got the opportunity, I would still throw one if I can. But I was doing other things. I was scoring. I was getting making plays. I was getting assists. So I didn't have that much time or energy to start going out and killing people.
And that third year, you had 43 points in 63 games. What was the biggest difference between your game from that second year to the third, do you think?
Well, if one thing is like more opportunity, I think we lost a lot of guys, so I got more of you know, a tenure on the team. So I had my spot. I would do my thing, and I mean, some guys got injured, and I got the opportunity to play on the first line for a bit, and I did well with them. And it helped that like the two guys on the first line who were like 99s, I was like really good friends with them. So that kind of helped make me feel comfortable playing with them. And I would like when I got the opportunity to be on the line, I did well and started scoring. And I think just one thing our coach said, just you want to score, go to the net. I just started going to the net, and good things were happening, so I just kept doing that. And yeah, like the points were coming, so it was good. I think I kind of had a slower first half, but then my second half I started buzzing and started getting the points. And I wish I had the first half. I did. I wish I had the same first half as the second half, but I think would have had more points. But no, I think I carried that on in my OA year, and I was a point per game player.
And that third year is where COVID started and really took a hit on the world today. What was your initial reaction when you found out the news that your hockey season would be shut down and cut short?
Yeah, I mean, so we were told, okay, we go home for like a Christmas break sort of thing. And at first we're like, all right, I can do that. I can take a nice break, go home, see the boys, whatever, have some fun. And then I think we're watching the news. My mom's like, yeah, you're not going back. I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about. And then yeah, we got the call, and I was at the time I was like, all right, like I still got 2 more years, so I wasn't that like worried about it. Like we played pretty much every game. Only thing we didn't do is playoffs. So at the time I was like, okay, whatever, we'll take it easier and have a good off season, come back better next year. And then when the next season came around, we weren't going back, and I'm like, oh, that's when I started getting nervous. I'm like, okay, like we're gonna miss a year here, and we ended up missing the whole year, and nothing happened, and that really sucked, and that really made me on my OHL career feel like it was short, because like guys always say, live it up, it goes by fast, and that really made it feel like it was short.
Kind of like mentally, what was your keep going motivation to just, this happened, but I'll make the best out of it?
Yeah, pretty much that. It's just we got to make the best of a bad situation. And thankfully I had a great trainer who stayed open the whole time, and so he was always motivating us. And yeah, just like I came off the high, like in that my third year. I had a career high in points my third year, so I was pretty pumped. I'm like, okay, I want to get more. So that was pretty much being like, you know, a big player, a good player for this team was a lot of incentive for me to keep going. And I came into the year, I made goals for myself. I wanted to be the leading scorer. I wanted to have 30 plus goals. So, and I think that that in my head pushed me to keep going. And, I met those goals this year. So I think it was I'm glad I did. I'm glad I stuck with it.
How much did the gym help your career, both physically and mentally, during that off season?
Yeah, it was unreal. Like for me, the gym was like my only escape from like the real world pretty much because my routine was get up at 5:30 a.m., go to the gym, then go to work at my dad's like warehouse for the rest of the day, come home, repeat this next day. So really it was pretty much a grind, but I love the gym. It was like the best part of my day. So when I had my buddy working out with me and my trainer, he was unreal. He was a great friend and a great mentor. So that really kept me mentally going. And just the fact that I was working, in the warehouse and just looking at some of these guys who, they do this for their whole life. This is their livelihood. I couldn't see myself doing that. It just pushed me to work so much harder because I don't want to be doing this one day.
What did you miss most about playing hockey during that quarantine break?
Just the boys, just having the boys in the dressing room, that's the best part, having the laughs with them and just winning together and having a game where you like pull a win out and just look the guy beside you and like we did it. So I really missed that. I missed seeing the boys. I didn't see any of them. Like there's only like one or two guys that live in like my area from Kitch. So yeah, I didn't see any of them. So it was pretty upsetting. But again, like what can you do?
So during that quarantine break, do you think there's anything that you took for granted playing hockey? For instance, like seeing fans in the arena and the bus rides with the boys?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think you're really thinking about it when it's a normal year because they've always been there. So um it was definitely tough, like playing without fans. It's pretty boring, honestly. And not having the bus rides and not seeing the boys is brutal. And because a lot of the memories are with on the bus ride and a lot of the laughs and stuff are in the hotels with the guys. And but yeah, just the rink without the fans is pretty different. I mean, when you score, it's like whatever. But like and contrarily, when you score with the packed barn, it's like the best feeling in the world.
Is there a memory that pops up from the bus rides or just away games with the boys that you could share?
Yeah, I'll try and keep it PG here. Yeah. So okay, here's one. So the overhead compartments in the bus, like I quickly found out I can fit in there. So we brought back one of the rookies this year. We brought him back, and then we sat him down. But I before he got back, I climbed in there, just was hiding in there. And then one of the other OAs said like, "Hey, like they were talking about him about like whatever." And when it was time for him to go back, they're like, "Hey, by the way, can you get my bag from up there?" So I think he opened the compartment. I just scared the shit out of him. So that was pretty funny, and we all got a good laugh with that. It's a memory that pops in my head. But no, it's all good fun. We had fun with the rookies.
Do you say that you're the biggest prankster on the team?
Yeah, here and there. There's another guy who's pretty like who's really into it, but I would do stuff like that because of my size. I would like get in the small places and then scare guys. So like in the dry stalls, they're like the lockers. I would just hide in someone's, and when they come to open it, like scare them again. So that was pretty much my go-to move.
Talking about your final year during the regular season, obviously the break or the quarantine pause was tough. But can you remember your first game back from that long pause? Like, how are you feeling? How excited were you? That kind of stuff.
God, I don't even remember who we played here. Oh yeah, I do. I think we played Guelph, yeah, because I remember we played Guelph in October. I think like 6 times. It was ridiculous how many times we're playing them. And yeah, I remember because I scored the first goal of the season, and then we actually had a pretty good crowd. I think it was 50%. So yeah, I remember just I was pretty excited. We were supposed to have a really good team this year, so we're all pretty amped. And then obviously things didn't go too well, and they ended up trading some of our good players. But yeah, I remember we were all super excited, and getting that first goal of the year on a power play was unreal, and the crowd just went nuts. And we ended up winning in overtime, which is even better, a little cherry on top against Guelph, or one of our rivals. So that was pretty cool.
Biggest moment, maybe one of the biggest moments in your junior career was that Game 7 goal against the London Knights. The intermission going into overtime. What was the vibe like in the locker room? Were you guys nervous or you guys feel like you had that game?
honestly, the nerves weren't there too much. Like, well, at least I thought because we we really didn't have anything to lose because we're the seventh seed. Like the London Knights had they had everything to lose, right? 'Cause they're the two seed and like supposed to be one of the top contenders. So to me, it was just like let's just go out and play. We got nothing to lose. Let's just go out and do this. And yeah, I mean, also like our coach came in the beginning of the game and said if we win this game, their season is a disaster. So that really got me going. So I think it was just wasn't too much thinking to be honest. Just got in the room, did my routines, and just got back out there and did my thing.
And can you take everyone through the goal, your point of view, what you saw, how you felt, initial reaction?
Yeah. So it was actually pretty crazy because the shift before, I think someone tripped me and there was no call. And I was pissed off about it. And then right after, like I fell, they got the puck and they went on a breakaway, and the guy missed. Thank God. And I was like, oh my God, this is not good, right? And then I looked down at my stick and all my tape's mangled. So I'm like, oh, here we go. I gotta use my backup. This is great. So I go switch my stick, get a backup one. Anyways, next shift, they get the puck out of their zone. We're bringing it back. One of our defensemen, Jack Harper, comes in, makes a pretty good move, and it gets a shot like between the D. Their goalie Brochu blockers it, and it's coming at me. I could see it coming at me, but it's like kind of bouncing. So I'm just gonna slap as hard as I can. If I miss, I miss. If I get it, I get it. And I just got it. Like I don't think I could have got it any better, and it went straight in the top corner. And honestly, like after that, I was like, oh my God, we just did this. Like this is unreal. And like after that, like it was all a blur. I mean, like there's a video of the celebration where like I kind of like shoved my buddy out of the way. It looks like I did, but like I don't remember doing that. When I saw the video after, I'm like, oh my God, that's a terrible look. And I felt bad. I apologized after, but I don't even remember doing that. And yeah, I remember just being in the huddle after with the guys, and we're all going crazy. And yeah, it's kind of funny on the video. We're right next to the glass, and one of our guys is like swearing at the fans and like all that stuff. It was pretty funny. And then we in the room after it was like we won a it felt like we won a championship in the room. Everyone's going nuts. Like we're making a absolute mockery of that room. There's water, Gatorade everywhere. So no, it was so fun. And going to see the parents after, like we walk out, some of us, and everyone's cheering, everyone's hugging each other. I'm hugging people I never even met before. One of the players' mom gives me a kiss on the cheek. Like it was just the best time ever.
I was actually gonna ask you about pushing your teammate out of the way. I assumed that you didn't mean to do it. Like I didn't think you guys actually had beef or anything like that.
No, 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 no. Mutter, he's one of my boys. He was another OA, and yeah, like I said, like I don't even remember doing that. And I guess I was trying to put my arms out, like I guess like that, and maybe I was like, maybe I thought in my head at the time, like, just get out of my way, like, get out of my way, But I don't. Yeah, I couldn't tell you what was going through my head. Maybe.
When you opened your phone up after the game, did you feel like a celebrity at all?
Yeah, I kind of saw like I like took a quick peek at it because I'm on the aux in the room sometimes, and I was like, oh, here they come, and I went to go put my phone away. I was like, I didn't want to like just keep looking at it. I'll come back to it and see all of them after, but yeah, I definitely like got a bunch of texts and like a bunch of texts from like past teammates, coaches, and friends. So it was pretty cool.
And would you say that goal was the best moment in your junior career
Or life?
or life? Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was the best one. I was telling the boys that was probably the best moment of my life for sure. And yeah, the biggest goal and only goal I can think that comes close to that is like in the OHL Cup Finals in minor hockey. That's it. So that was definitely the biggest moment. So I'm glad I can kind of put my name in the history books in Kitchen.
I was watching some of your highlights from the 2019-2020 season, and some of your Cellies just, I don't know, they're just really cold. Are you the one where you go on your knee and fist bump the air? I don't know, I just mess with that Celly a lot.
Yeah, I don't know. I just when I started scoring in the league, it just started coming to me like it just happens naturally. I don't know. That was my go-to though, the one knee and fist bump. And but one thing I started doing this year is like incorporating like going to the glass and slamming the glass and just giving it to the fans. I go to the fans and like kind of like start yelling at the fans like let's go baby, like so I it was great. Scoring in that building is the best thing ever. It's addicting. You always want more.
Favorite away team or away arena to score in?
probably London. I think it has to be, it's probably like one of the
Yeah.
nicest CHL rinks and yeah, one of the nicest CHL rinks and scoring there because the fans are pretty cutthroat. So scoring there and silencing them is the best feeling.
So during your career in juniors, are there any players that you played against that really stood out to you?
Yeah, I mean, in my first couple of years, there were some really good ones, like a bunch of guys in the NHL now, like Morgan Frost is one of them, Bradish is one of them, Kachuk, guys on my team, even like Logan Brown, Logan Stanley, they're unreal. Giovanni Smith. Um, this year, most like Evangelista in London was pretty filthy. Um, Karen's on the Sioux was nasty. I'm trying to think who else.
Did you play
Wyatt
against
Johnston.
Did you play against Shane Wright?
I played against him once in my third year, or once or twice, because he played in Kingston and we played in the West or in the East. So we only played him twice, and then this year we didn't play the East at all, so we never got to see any of those teams.
Uh,
But yeah, like I said, like Wyatt Johnston on Windsor, he's something else. I think he had like 16 points against us in the playoffs and a 5-game series. So he's the real deal.
Are there any players that you've played with that you think have a real good shot at making it to the NHL and being a impact player?
Yeah, I think Damiani's one of them. He's already had a couple of games in NHL, but he's just so smart with the puck and has those intangible skills of what it takes to score points in the next level. Um, I think Francesco Pinelli's on my team and he's drafted at LA, so and he's got a lot of potential. So I think he can do some damage in a couple of years. Um, yeah, I think that's all I can think of right now.
Looking back at your 4 years with the Rangers, what do you think you'll miss most about playing hockey for them?
Just scoring in that building, like I said, it's the best. There's like when it's not a COVID year, obviously there's like 7,000, 6,000 fans, screaming fans, and when you score, it's just the best feeling. There's nothing like it, and when you do, like you just want more and more and more. When you don't get it, when you don't score, it's like kind of like you gotta get stressed out a bit because you want to obviously get your goals, but not scoring there is just words can't describe it for sure.